I feel like the first topic is right down your alley because we're going to start with huge entertainment news. It is official. Television and film actors are on strike. Yeah, it's big. So members of the union SAG-AFTRA, they are joining the picket lines with their fellow writers. Now, if you recall, the writers went on strike back in May, still on strike. This is now the biggest Hollywood walkout since 1960. So this vote to strike came after negotiations between actors and major studios. They failed to reach an agreement on a new contract that would improve issues like pay, residuals coming from streaming, as well as lay out very clear guidelines around the use of artificial intelligence in the industry. Big one. So yesterday, we actually saw the very first effects of this strike in real time. As soon as the strike was announced, the Oppenheimer cast left the film's UK premiere. They walked out. So this was the start. They didn't last to the premiere. They were like, oh, we officially got the word we're on strike. They walked off the carpet. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna kick this off. Sonia, of course, you're an entertainment reporter. So this is, I don't even know, do we even know how big this is of a deal?
I don't think people realize how big this is. Well, first of all, I think something to realize is the fact that, you know what, this was inevitable, right? When streaming services really started to take over everything and they were not abiding by the same rules as conventional television was, it was just a matter of time somebody was going to say, wait a minute, you're now just selling the show that I was a part of and it's now going to air as indefinitely, really, and then I don't get any residuals for this. At some point, someone was going to say that, and I think COVID slowed that process down. I think this was probably going to happen a little bit sooner, but then because of COVID, everybody was just so thankful to work again. But now that this is happening, it was inevitable. It was also inevitable that the actors were possibly going to be joining the picket line because when you look at what the Writers Guild actually was asking for, which they started at 15%, and then they even lowered the percentage of wage increase, I'm talking about, they lowered it themselves to 12%. Then they brought it down to 11%, and the studio came back with 5%. That's not even a slap. That's like a backhand. Like, that stings differently. So when you have such a discrepancy between two parties, you just know that this is going to drag out. And at some point, actors are going to have to actually join this fight as well. But you guys, the scary part about all this is some of the things that are coming out, there's an article in Deadline talking about just the tone of these studios. And
arrogance.
The arrogance. Yes.
And you know, yesterday, of course, Fran Drescher gave an impassioned speech.
So
passionate. Caught a lot of
She's
this.
the president of the union.
Exactly. President of the union. She's not just the nanny. She's got that only some people will get that reference. But she did make some really amazing and important points. Just take a look at this one.
The entire business model has been changed by streaming, digital, AI. This is a moment of history. That is a moment of truth. If we don't stand tall right now, we are all going to be in trouble. We are all going to be in jeopardy of being replaced by machines.
Yeah, I mean, it's dramatic, right? She's an actor, of course. And it gives images of sort of, you know, Terminator 2, but this is why it is relevant to all of us, because even though she's speaking to it, a lot of people I've seen the rhetoric online, which is like, oh, these are rich, wealthy actors, who cares? But in fact, it's so much bigger than this. So to give you an example, one of the things they're fighting for, of course, is this mention of AI. It's about machines. Even just with like background actors, of which the majority of the industry is made of actors who are not as rich and wealthy as Tom Cruise.
That's a small
it's
percentage.
A small percentage.
Most of them have second jobs or third jobs.
So their jobs are in jeopardy big time, because what the studios want to start doing is making any large background shot, you know, your shot of like a protest or whatever, those would be completely filled with AI. That's one example. So people, they already are struggling to make ends meet. And when you juxtapose that, which she pointed out, about how much these head honchos are making. Bob Iger, for example, the head of Disney, he made $67.5 million last year alone. That is more than 1,000 times the average Disney employee.
Yeah.
Just put that into context.
I saw this stat that the average writer in Hollywood makes $69,000 a year, but Bob Iger makes $74,000 a day.
Yeah.
So that's what made, when he came out and said what they're asking for, they're unreasonable demands. That's just rich coming from that. And the AI thing, like they're asking these actors, they're giving them 1 day of pay, which
Like
is, I think they said about $100, they said,
which is nothing.
and they get to use them in perpetuity, that word. You know how to say that word? You guys know how to say that word. And I saw this funny tweet that said, notes that they're not even being offering the same licensing expectations you would give to a font. You know, when you use like a font in a book or on something, you get residuals, you get money back for the creator of that font. God bless the guy who invented Helvetica.
Yeah. My only fear, I've got a lot of fears.
Yeah,
but my biggest fear right now is that by not working, the actors and the writers, I think inadvertently, not intentionally, this is going to actually expedite the development of AI to generate brand new content without the use of one human. If you think about the work that's going to stop, that feeds all of our streaming services and our television sets, all the shows that have stopped, all the movies that have stopped, and if they're there for weeks, the writers have already been striking for 6+ weeks, the actors, they're going to hold out for as long as possible, and if I'm sitting at the top of the company going, we need content, they're just going to hit that button that says, you know that feature that is already capable of writing us a novel screenplay for a movie?
Yeah.
Let's do that, and then let's add AI-generated actors, and let's just see what the public does.
That's
you
on
can't
us.
tell me.
That is on us. This is where we all
people
do
will
need to
tune
pay
in.
attention.
But people will tune
there's
in.
going to be some people who are being like, oh, what's the latest, greatest new AI movie coming from big company here? But this is where I think Matt Damon's a perfect example. Him and Ben Affleck have opened up their own company. Maybe this is going to be a resurrection of like old style, like small movie theaters coming.
I wish you were right, Cynthia, but do you remember? I'm going to tell you why. There's already examples. Do you remember the Drake Weekend AI song that came out?
Yes, and everybody believed they didn't know the difference.
Not only did they not know the difference,
thing.
even when they found out it wasn't really them,
people liked it.
Everybody was listening to it. It started to chart.
Let's start on a hopeful note. I do believe that people care, and also because this isn't exclusive to this industry. This will impact other industries. I think there's going to be a cachet with productions created that actually have humans behind it. I think that will become its own niche market. It is on us, though, to support that. Otherwise,
let's hope so. Let's really hope so, because this will affect everything. It will affect everything.
Impact Canada. Yeah, TIFF. It's gonna. I mean, TIFF might be out the window. Anyway, that's a huge.
Yeah, because the actors can't walk the carpet.
Yeah. No.
And all the production that's done in Canada, like Calgary to Toronto to Hamilton, like so much is being filmed on the East Coast. Like that's being shut down, so it's trickling up here too.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We've got lots more discussion and debates on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.